All right, I think we're ready to
When you're
go.
looking to make a splash, we got the team that's gonna make it last. WeDoVids, the name you need to know. Elevating brands, putting on the show. With our cameras and a magic touch, we bring your vision to life. Oh, so much. From compelling visuals to a captivating story, we make your brand shine in all its glory. Lights, camera, action, we're here to ignite. With WeDoVids, your brand takes flight. From concept to production, we'll be your guide. Together we'll reach new heights, side by side.
Okay, I want to thank everyone for coming. I'm surprised at the turnout. I'm not gonna. I want to thank Kimmy back there for the popcorn. It adds to the smell of the place. Covers up my smell. I'm gonna be talking a bit, so I'm gonna just kind of give this to Sarah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like I said, Brian's doing the, I don't think I really need this microphone. Oh, yeah, I do. Okay. Right. Yes. Okay. Never mind. I realize that. Brian's been the actor in this, the producer. It started out as a little Halloween thing he did when I went to visit my parents in Tennessee and blossomed into this. I got to be the villain in the show. So enjoy yourself, eat all the food and candy that you want, pop, booze, all of it, make it gone. So I've got art out there for sale, some photographs and my little painted boxes and stuff. No obligation though. I don't want to take the big old tub back home full of cardboard boxes that I've painted in my agony. So, but I think that's it. Well, we ready, Brian? Or do I have to start telling jokes? If you leave me up here too long, I'm going to start lying. Okay. Well, I can do a really good. I mean, that's a really good dog.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna just talk a little bit here about the short film and how it came to be, and some of the people involved. I have notes. First of all, thank you, Amazon, for the $60 projector. It is, I don't know if you look at the text, it does okay. It doesn't do wonderful, but you'll get the idea. It is a short. Before anybody asks, what the hell is floating carp? Well, when Sarah came to me years ago, I was doing video, she was doing photography. She's like, you need to help me do video. And I said, no. And she finally talked me into it, and I said, well, I'm not going to be sarahbennettphotography.net. I'm sorry. And she said, okay, well, let's come up with a name. That was the first thing we thought of, floating carp. So we registered floatingcarp.com. Then we created an Android app. Luckily, we have since let that go. We do not own the domain, but we did come up with WeDoVids, and that's kind of where we're at today. I don't know. Floating carp, we could have kept it, I think. So, yeah. So anyways, this whole story is about the piece of property that we're on. It was recorded down at the Davis Linden building at the corner of Davis and Linden down there, where our previous studio was. This is a very old building. A lot of people don't know a lot about it. A lot of people don't know that the first heavy bicycles came out of there. A lot of people also, it was the Davis sewing machine factory. The property went all the way from Linden all the way up to the top of the hill. So even though we've moved, we're still on the property. This short film has a lot about the history, which we will get to here in just a second. But why did I do it? Well, September, October, November for us is our busiest time of year. And what was that? Heckler's out. No. Hi, Mom. September, October, November is probably our busiest times of year. We're pulling all-nighters a lot. Last year, we had people in other states editing for us. We had a 5-day job in Cincinnati. It was actually 2 jobs. We got a hotel room that the client provided. We brought the whole editing suite. So we were working 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. and then getting on the editing suite while we still had people elsewhere working on videos. So we'd work till 5 in the morning and then get up and do the whole thing for 5 days. So when we got back, I was like, we're now into the second week of October. I said, I'm dying here. I need some creativity. So I just started shooting some stuff. And Sarah said, what have you been doing in there? I'm like, well, I showed her a rough cut. And she's like, wow, that's cool. How can I be part of it? And I was like, I don't know. How can you be part of it? She said, well, I would like to torture and kill you. And I said, no, I meant for the film. And she said that was okay. So she thought we could get this all per parts filmed in a night, which we did, but we went till 6 in the morning. Yeah. So not only did I decide I was going to make a Halloween movie, write it, shoot it, edit it, starting on the second week of October, with all those other deadlines on top of it. Let's see how much I can actually torture myself. I said, we have all this equipment. Let's use the cheapest camera we have. It's going to be a horror movie. Which camera do we have that does terrible in low light? This one. Now, I'm not talking bad about this. This little Canon is a workhorse. Actually, the back of the LCD screen is melted because we've used it so much. We're going to show you a little bit about the history. A lot of things people don't know about the building. Sorry about my bad acting. There is a little thing after the credits, so stay tight for that. And I think we will go, let's hear about the building, and then we'll just go straight into the short film.
This is the story of a once thriving Watertown industry lured away to another city in another state, and the story of the people who also pulled up roots and moved with the company. In today's economic climate, it is not unusual for industry to move from one state to another to take advantage of tax breaks and cheaper labour costs. While most people think of it as something happening in modern times, this is not a new concept in business. The truth is that it happened in the city of Watertown before the turn of the 20th century. In February 1868, the Davis Sewing Machine Company was started in Watertown by the Sheldons. The factory was equipped with the latest and most modern machinery, and the mechanical skills of the workers were said to be unsurpassed. Rumours were circulating indicating Davis was leaving town. However, no one took them seriously. It should not have come as any surprise to the people of Watertown when it was finally announced that the Davis Sewing Machine Company was indeed leaving Watertown. The company had been approached by the Dayton, Ohio Board of Trade, which was ultimately responsible for the Davis move. Dayton officials knew that when the company settled in Dayton, it would be second only to the car works factories in material and financial importance to their city. In January of 1889, the Davis Sewing Machine Company stockholders voted to transfer the company's manufactory and place of business, provided that Dayton fulfill its agreement to construct new buildings. In addition to agreeing to pay all costs associated with the move, the Board of Trade was required to raise the sum of $50,000. The donation was a condition upon which the Watertown Company would move to Dayton. This donation was raised through a grassroots effort. Dayton was canvassed in every section. Citizens gave whatever they could. In Dayton, George Huffman took charge of the company. He was a young man whose family owned real estate in East Dayton. The land was developed for the factory and for the settlement of about 50 Watertown families. 5.5 acres of land was secured for the location of the company's plant on Huffman Avenue. The closing of the Watertown factory presented problems for the men who had worked in the factory. Most had families, owned homes, and had a long history with the area. Would they be willing to pull up stakes and move to Dayton, Ohio? Many of them did. On January 13, 1890, about 80 residents boarded the train for Dayton. Arrangements were made for them to leave Watertown on the 10:20 a.m. train. They gathered long before departure time and were surrounded by crowds of people that came to see them off. The company furnished the tickets for the employees and their families and paid for the freight on their household goods. Many went to Dayton in an effort to keep working until there was a job available back in Watertown. Some workers returned within a few months. Others stayed and made Dayton their new home. Some employees died there and were brought back to Watertown for burial. For a number of years, ties with Watertown remained strong, possibly because the Davis Company arranged for half-price train tickets for the families of those people who came from Watertown. This privilege was discontinued when the company discovered that the tickets were being used for picnic trips and also to travel to other locations rather than visiting relatives in Watertown. The Davis Sewing Machine Company operated under this name until 1924, but as early as 1892, the manufacturing of bicycles was added to the production. Histories from the Dayton Daily News indicated that the bicycle manufacturing was so successful that the production of sewing machines was gradually phased out. The Huffman Manufacturing Company was formed as a sales outlet for Davis Sewing Machine Company service parts. In 1924, the Davis Company's assets were liquidated. At that time, the company employed 1,800 workers. The Huffman Manufacturing Company became the holding company of the Davis Sewing Machine Company, and only the drop forge and foundry departments were kept in operation. Huffman Manufacturing went into Huffy bicycle production in 1934, and during World War II made service equipment, bicycles and ammunition components for the government. In 1955, the factory was moved to Silina, Ohio. The general offices were left in Dayton. However, in 1999, the Huffy bicycle factory closed and moved to Mexico in an effort to cut production costs. Many people commented that it was a sign of the times. However, for students of history, it was just another case of history repeating itself. More importantly, some of the going-ons, or tragedies if you will, there are entire histories left untold and silenced by the men who were in control at the time. While all of this is a good lesson in history, I boarded that train from Watertown, New York, to the new factory in Dayton, Ohio. What I witnessed after that has never been talked about. Those events will never leave my mind. The silence has been maintained on those events for all of these years, but I promise you, that is about to change.
Tonight's presentation is brought to you by WeDoVids. Visit them on the web at WeDoVids.com. Be sure to grab some popcorn provided by Gem City Pinup Photography. Visit them on the web at gemcitypinup.com. And now, our feature presentation. My ancestors came over to the New World to build a new life. I remember becoming a grown woman and getting the job at the Davis Sewing Machine Company. I think the year was 1823. This was a massive place for us to help support our families. We had more than 60 buildings, over I don't know how many acres. We even had an on-site hospital. There were more than 3,000 of us, working through many challenging times, including the war efforts. Oh, the war efforts. All in all, the company treated us well. They paid for train tickets home to visit family that many of us left out east. They provided the most lavish events, with some of the most luxurious dinners one could ever imagine. The men played many of baseball games with the neighboring companies. Other workers would place wagers on the games. There was a lot of money to be had with just that. All being said, we were a large but happy family. But, as with any family, there were some secrets that no one would speak of.
So our business is the event venue for weddings of canines. Primarily canines, but we also do the occasional feline and even smaller animals such as your household guinea pig. Right now it's quite popular. Geckos are getting married left and right, believe it or not.
So you think that covers everything for your marketing post?
I think for our marketing video, that should cover it, yes.
Anything else you would like to add?
I think that's it for now. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
All right. That's a wrap then.
Alrighty. Thank you so
job.
much.
It's a pleasure to work with you. We've heard so many great things about your company, and we're hoping to do great things.
I'm gonna go ahead and head home.
Okay, I'm really tired, but we just don't have a lot of time on this. I'm gonna try to at least get a basic timeline laid out to figure out what to do with this. It'll take a couple hours.
Okay. You're gonna stay here. Don't invite any bad energy or anything in this old creepy building on Halloween. See you later.
See you in a couple hours.
Enough time has passed, I can finally talk about one of those secrets that hurt my soul to keep to myself for all of these years. My dear Margaret and I met at the factory. Her husband had died in the war. They had a lovely 8-year-old daughter named Millie. Margaret had no choice but to bring her to the factory for her shifts. Sometimes these shifts were long and painstaking. Everyone loved Millie as she wandered around telling everyone about her latest happenings. One day a machine caught fire and collapsed. The poor girl was right in the thick of it when it happened. She was terribly burned and a large bit of the ceiling fell. She was never the same after that. The burns left her terribly deformed and she couldn't communicate well.
Well, that's about useless. You gotta be kidding me. What the hell? Hey,
I left my hard drive. Can you grab it when you leave?
yeah, I'll bring it. We got some weird stuff going on with the power here.
What do you mean weird stuff?
I don't know. Everything went out. Then stuff started turning on randomly. I have no idea. I tried to check the breakers, but apparently the boxes we have in our studio are useless. And it's just our studio.
That is really weird.
Yeah. I remember him saying something about the basement. Do you remember where he said our breakers were in the basement?
Figure it out yourself.
fuck? Are you okay? Okay. I'm totally freaked out now.
After poor Millie's accident, the company tried to push it under the rug. Safety standards were a bit different in those days. The men who had always treated her well ignored her, and sometimes even called her names in earshot of her. She began to grow a deep hatred for men who were in control. She eventually could not endure the humiliation, especially at her age, and she would disappear to the basement to play, rarely being seen on the factory floor. Margaret was devastated when she disappeared and was found dead in the basement. Margaret didn't live much past that. We always thought she died of the grief that bestowed her of losing her only child. Millie, make sure he knows what his ancestor did to you. He should feel your pain. He should never forget. You men. Yes, you. Your type will never learn, even after all of these years.
No, no, no. I'd rather you kill me before you make me watch Lifetime movies. I gotta get out of here right now.
After this, he will never forget his ancestors' actions.
You never made it home. Have you been here all night?
I must have passed out. Man, I had the weirdest.
We're not done, Millie. How could we ever be so lucky? There is another descendant in our building. Let's get to work.
Loving arms around my neck on the dance floor at Chelsea's bar. I should have turned her away, but how was I to see? I was firing, she was gasoline. sad and lonely after what death had done. But like rattlesnakes kicked across the ground.
What the fuck?
Our true loves were dead, and our hearts were full of grief. I was firing, she was gasoline. Good God. I was firing, she was gasoline. But we helped each other out, Lord, to ease some of the pain. Best friends and lovers most of the time. But I would go mad when she would turn mean. I was firing, she was gasoline. Yeah, I was firing, she was gasoline. Times as I threw her out. Should we stay together or apart? But it's hard.
We are a wedding event venue for canines and the occasional feline couple, as well as smaller animals such as your guinea pigs, hamsters, when they're not running on their wheels, of course.
As a wedding planner, working with Marielle and her team at Furry Forever, I couldn't be happier. They have brought joy back into my job, and my couples have never been happier.
What's really popular right now? Gecko weddings. So we've been having a lot of gecko couples getting married.
Furry Forever's dedication to understanding the unique needs of our gecko family made the day not only special, but also stress-free.
We get to know their history, we get to know where they came from, we really get to know each individual so well so that they may live forever in love. We just want to create the best memories and achieve the greatest dreams.
But we helped each other out, Lord. But I would go mad when she would turn mean. I was firing, she was gasoline.
All right, I want to thank you. We got at least 3 of the 4 cast members here. The one who couldn't make it was Mark Jackson. He was the guy at the end, who's the woodworker. But we have Christy and Sarah here. We're going to briefly introduce them. Mark is on his way to Atlanta or something. He said, I don't do that Zoom shit. So we recorded these behind the scenes things. He said, just play some clips of that. That's all I have to say anyways, and I don't do that Zoom shit. So here's his little clip, and then we'll introduce the other 2 of us, and we'll call it good. All right. So if we just get you to say your name and then spell it for us.
Mark Jackson, M-A-R-C, and Jackson, J-A-C-K-S-O-N. Senior. Now, we'll do the long one. We don't do the long word. We just do the S and the R, and we put the little circle at the end, the period. It's a little circle thing. You know what I'm talking about. We'll too much to talk of this say if you say the whole word.
All right. What's your dog's name?
Oh, his name is Tom Cruise. He's not answering to it yet. I renamed him after the shoot because I figured, having a sidekick, and if Tom Cruise was my sidekick, which he's kind of my sidekick, it's just cool. But his original name was Frederick, so he still got answers to that.
Right? I mean, is there anything?
Don't let him do that to your leg. He'll keep going until he's done. It takes him a while. Trust me, I know. Tom, come cruise. Stop. Lay down. Lay down. All right, let's do this.
Let's close the door. So, I mean, when you were first approached for this role, I mean, just tell me how that played out. I remember when I approached you. Tell me how that played out.
It's when you came to me initially, I thought you were the fire inspector going to shut me down. I like to grind down these, like this IKEA furniture, and then glue the grounds back together to build from it. Then you told me you were a filmmaker and gave me the script, and I've held on to the script for so long. I mean, I have a copy with me. I had a copy framed. I have a laminated copy. I buried a copy in the backyard and a safe. I had an actual safe to this old building. And when I read the script, I realized you were serious. And I looked at the character that you had created, and you said you wrote this character for me. And I get it, but you don't understand. I've never acted before. I've been a woodworker all my life. My father was a woodworker. And to find out that, you know, as an actor now, when a filmmaker says that they have written a script for you, it's magical. And I read the script and I said, this is a character that I get to develop. I get to have some say in, and I thank you for that, having some say and getting this whole thing, you know, done. And I must have spent, we were on a time crunch. You told me 2 weeks and we could shoot. And I said, okay. And I spent that 2 weeks just memorizing the lines. It was insane. It's like just, I tried a different way. You said drop the comedy bit. You didn't like the comedy. I tried different styles. And you're just getting the words right and memorizing what I'm supposed to say. And I get it down now that I'm an actual actor. No, I sit there and I work with my wood, and then I look up, and then I say, I do my whole spiel dialogue, and I'm supposed to look to the left. And then it goes from there. And I mean, the story is fantastic, and I thank you for this opportunity. Yeah, since then, like I said, now that I'm an actor, I really haven't been stopped on the street yet, but I know that's coming, and I know the award shows are coming up, and I know they're going to start doing nominations for Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor. I know I know I'm right up there in the running. I am confident. I can just feel it in my heart here. Hey, thank you for this opportunity. I mean, just the way that I went from woodworker to actor, which is one part, and the upcoming success that you provide, I think it's going to be awesome. So now that I'm an actor, I want to thank you, Brian, for recognizing, you know, my talent, my diverse way to portray characters. You want to hear me I could do a couple of lines if you want.
That's okay.
Okay. It's like, what the fuck?
Perfect. Good enough.
I didn't use that one. Let's try again.
Oh, God.
What the fuck? Do you hear it?
Yeah, that was fantastic.
All right. Thank you so much for having me.
So for those of you who didn't know, Mark Jackson Sr. was actually not a real person. He was a deep fake of me, and the face was created. It was like this isn't a real person.com face or something, and I just did the whole stuff, and the voice was also AI generated. But I had a lot of fun doing that little last thing. And I think I'm going to carry on with Mark Jackson Sr. He has a future. I know as an actor, he has a future. But let's talk about our pet thief, not thief, our pet wedding venue person, Christy, who, God, I did a documentary on the West Coast in 2005. We shot in 2004. She was the subject of that. Then we worked on a project together in 2007 or 8. Didn't we decide that was a long time ago? And I just decided I needed a person, and I called her up on a Thursday, and she said, I said, I need an emergency actress. And she said, how about Saturday? And I said, perfect. She's like, what's the dress? I said, business casual. That's all she knew. She made up all that stuff on the fly. Christy, come on up here and say hello. She says she's going to wing it.
I didn't know who he was going to introduce me as, so I think I'm Christy. So I'll talk from that place. But so the story's true, and he was just like, had the cameras on and said, go. But he, you can tell he's like the mastermind. He's the wizard behind the curtain. And so I blame him. And I also, thank you. Thanks, Shay.
And then I was actually going to play a blooper rolls to embarrass them before I brought them up, which I might do real quick afterwards. But Sarah, I think everybody here knows Sarah. She did not hesitate once to torture and kill me. Also, we trained her voice on AI. She only had one night to shoot for this, and like that phone call was just all AI voice of her. And so she didn't know what I made her say.
Oh, that was scary. AI is getting scary. Our phone message actually is an AI of my voice, and I'm like, when did we record that? It sounds so much like me that it fooled me. But anyway, yeah, I got to kill him. It got a lot of frustration out. So, like I said, we didn't have much time to film, but when we did, it was kind of hilarious because I had the big machete, and of course it's dull. It's not sharp. And you were terrified. I'm like, you can get this out of my hand before I have a chance to. He was absolutely, I'm like, wow, maybe he's got a guilty conscience or something. I should whack him on. Yeah, right. No, no. You were so nervous. That was crazy. But anyway, he wasn't hurt or hit or anything. And the blood is still on the wall, Andrea. So you got that. You got that in your studio now. Yeah. Yep. Just a little bit of fake blood, but was it? Well, got a little bit of a video.
Bought it that day.
That's all him. I just showed up for the parts. And
This is kind of conclusion. Does anybody want to see the bloopers from that? Let's do the bloopers. Because Sarah's kind of funny in the bloopers. So is Christy, actually. I'm glad you guys were able to hear the highway outside because
Yep, rev it up. Yeah, come on. Please, come on.
every
please,
time,
come on.
and at this hour,
Please, come on.
All right, tell me about your business.
All right. Well, we are an event venue. Specifically, can I say that again? Yeah. Specifically.
I know.
I just want to point my butt. Where are you going? Go. Get away. Go.
Why? It's like 1 a.m. Man, sweetie, I'm so impressed. I gotta leave right now. I gotta go after. So badass.
Me too. They might be going to the leather bar over there.
I don't know though. He's probably going by your mom's house by now.
I just about fell. Was I on my mark though? At least.
You were on your mark perfectly.
What the f***? So, tell me about the cleanup process.
The cleanup process. The grooms would have to eliminate themselves in various ways that the brides would not. And you have your guests at the wedding. So cleanup if you can only imagine briefly, is an extensive process in the entire event, and we do require a deposit fee for that.
What the fuck? She's an Elvira look going on with hair.
I hate that because everybody said that in high school. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. You. Everyone who said Beetlejuice and Elvira.
What the fuck?
Ready? Mm-hmm. Here we go. Wait. Clap. And... I'm playing a deep fake redneck. I just have a feeling post is going to be hell on this. Thank you very much. Thanks everybody for showing up. We got plenty of food and beverage left, so help yourself. And if anybody can beat the high score on that Miss Pac-Man game, please do.